Welcome to Hardin Life Live. We are the Hardins, and we are a family of both counselors and coaches. And we love taking 10 minutes every week and bring you what we hope is going to give you some tips to live your best life through both a biblical and therapeutic approach. And we've been having fun doing different months. We've been focusing, we did relationships last month.
Enneagram 1 month.
That's right, which was a favorite for a lot of people. And I thought that this month we really needed to hit something that honestly, I don't think any family escapes. And that is the whole reality of addictions. And addictions aren't just the obvious addictions, alcohol, drugs, gambling. Addictions is at every level. Anything that has got you to where you are compulsively moving toward it to soothe or escape or numb or just give yourself a break, that's an addiction. And brain science sort of validates it. So that was sort of my heart in taking on that whole topic this month. And then I think in my blog, where I wanted to really challenge our thinking is, have we outgrown the old medical model of addiction? And is it, number one, even accurate? Is it solving what we actually see growing in society? I don't see a reduction in addiction, I see an increase.
Yeah, especially after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And again, I would just say that what makes behavior addictive behavior is primarily two things. One is that the addictive behavior gives the illusion of being in control and not having to address emotional underlying issues.
Mm-hmm.
And so you think you're in control because you're being comforted, medicated, avoiding the pain. So it gives the illusion of control. And then secondly, what makes behavior addictive behavior is that it is illegitimate surrender. We were made for surrender. We were all made to yield and bow the knee. And rather than bowing the knee to God and to a worthy power, we give our power away and we bow the knee, as Song of Solomon says, to less than adequate lovers. And so surrendering to alcohol, drugs, sex, rock and roll, whatever it is.
Instagram
is an illegitimate object of surrender as opposed to a legitimate surrender to the Lord above.
That's an interesting take. And I think, you really sort of went at it at a heart attitude. And I think that's always fundamental. And then we have to add in our biology and how our brain works. And, the interesting thing about addiction, it's not a disease, I do not believe, as the medical model frames it, because recent research actually shows that it's not substance driven. And what they now recognize in the brain, it is the brain actually doing what it's designed to do, which is to learn something and to hold on to it. The problem is, because addiction gives you that dopamine hit, that feel good, it revs up that cycle of learning and remembering and overrides the speed of it, and it builds these deep entrenched patterns. And then that loop gets shorter and shorter, and it's, I've got to have it now. So right there, instead of seeing it like a disease of, ooh, the brain is messed up, it's actually the brain is doing exactly what it was designed for, but it's overworking one area. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Totally. I see that a lot in even you can be addicted to positive things. You can be addicted to just your description of the brain, it makes sense that we latch on to something. And I can see people being addicted to exercise, being addicted to work. It's like, well, it feels good. Being addicted to worrying, being addicted to being busy, being addicted to, any kind of achievement. It can work both ways. There can be positive addictions and more, stereotypical or negative ones as well.
Exactly. And I think, the reason people get so defeated when they're trying to get away from one of those bad addictions, which we know is costing us our job or our health or something like that, we've got this entrenched, deeply entrenched repetitive cycle. And one of the issues that really sets up us to fail is that we get ego fatigue. Because what happens is after we fall off the wagon and, we got our hit, now we're feeling bad about it. I'm never going to drink again. I'm never going to, go to porn again. And what they've learned is that your brain cannot keep doing, I won't do something. So it fatigues your brain to try to not do something, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of when I was going through a parenting seminar with another colleague. We were teaching parenting, and one of the biggest principles that we taught was what you focus on, you get more of. And so if I'm focusing on not eating sweets, then I'm actually going to be more prone to eat sweets because I'm wearing out my brain. I'm not going to eat sugar. I'm not going to eat sugar. I'm not eating sugar versus I am going to focus on eating more fruits and vegetables. If I focus on eating more fruits and vegetables, I'm going to do that versus the not language. I'm not going to get mad at my kids. I'm not going to yell at my kids. Well, I'm probably going to yell at my kids versus I'm going to be patient with my children.
Well, certainly in any kind of addiction, the first step toward healing is to get off the river. Denial.
Get off denial.
Get off denial.
Okay.
Right. So you've got to come out of denial and you've got to own the behavior. And we've got to stop telling ourselves the lie that what we are doing is not bad. It's not destructive. It's okay. I've got this. I can quit anytime. So as we come out of denial and we own it, then at that point, just as you guys are suggesting, what we've got to do in order to change is not so much stop something, but start something. The old model of change, or the simple model of change, is stop, start. So you want to stop something, but as you are suggesting, just stopping does not work. And so if you truly want to change, I'm not as much interested in what you want to stop as I am what you're going to start. So you've got to replace a bad behavior with a better behavior. And part of that better behavior has got to be some kind of connection, because the way the brain works. The brain works relative to connection. So I've got to stop bad behavior by beginning a good behavior that includes some kind of connection to another person.
Well, and here's the catch, gang. In the past, what we've always done is we have tried to focus on, as Audrey was saying, what not. The problem with addiction is addiction keeps us living only in the present. There's lots of brain things. I won't bore you with that. But when I'm living in the present as an addict, I'm not feeling remorse over my past. So I'm not even allowing myself to think how bad this has cost me. I'm also not living in the greater future. of where I really want my life to go and what I'm longing for. So I'm not there either. And that's why addicts will take their substance over their marriage or job, because the addiction's right here and now. So the key to even getting connections, I've got to have a place of a better goal, and I need to attach that to the future so that I'm no longer focusing on I don't want. My focus doesn't even start there. My focus is I get connected with me. What do I want in my life? And when I start doing that, I'm seeing future. I want lasting relationships. I want a meaningful career. I want, and I need to attach my goals to future. And then I have something, and of course, we would all agree when you anchor that in the God given design of our goals and our value, I start aiming at something worth living for.
Yeah, well said.
That's so powerful. That's so powerful to really change from present mindedness to future mindedness, which in turn changes your choices in the present. If you have that that future perspective, that eternal perspective, why am I here? Why does my life matter? Is my addictive behavior getting me to that ultimate purpose? And if it's not, there's the shift that needs to happen.
Even Jesus was stated and described in Hebrews as enduring the cross because of the joy set before him. So he had a future in mind.
That allowed.
Yeah.
Well, and to break it down to just human level right here is, here's the catch. Just me going, instead of going, I've got to say no to sugar, I look at the goal of the sugar in the present and the goal of, no, I want a healthy lifestyle. I don't want inflammation. I want to be free. I want to live longer.
Yeah.
So I don't even shame myself with what I don't want. I invite myself to dream of what I do want. That helps me weigh it in a positive format and not create ego fatigue. Well, I know we could talk on this all day, but
All day.
And so absolutely go to our website, hardinlife.com, read the recent article on addiction. I go a lot more into detail of the brain science, and let's change our future. Let's change our present by focusing on the future.